Like, I think SZA is going to be stuck on TDE for another 10 years. Like, it's going to be the 2030s and SZA is still going to be on TDE. Facts. Facts. SZA's 35 years old right now. I wholeheartedly believe that she's going to be in her 40s before she gets off of TDE. TDE is going to squeeze every bit of musical life left out of SZA until her moment has completely passed. And then, only then, will they allow her to release that last album and leave the label to do whatever else she wants to do. SZA is the cash cow on TDE. And when she leaves, they really have nothing left. The next money play for TDE after SZA leaves is Doechii. And I think we can all see that TDE is pulling all the industry tricks to build Doechii a fan base.
Hey y'all, I am a one-man show. I record, edit the video myself, create the thumbnail, everything. So hitting like and subscribe does help a bunch. Thanks so much. Back to the video.
I mean, from these Grammys and Billboard Woman of the Year awards, I mean, no one is winning a Grammy because their album was really good 90% of the time. The Grammy and these Billboard awards, these are industry-based awards. They're not merit-based awards. So people are winning these because there's some politics with the labels. We're not saying they're buying the Grammys and these Billboard awards. We're saying they're industry awards, they're political awards. So the idea that Doechii is winning these just because her album is really good, it's disrespectful to all the artists who came before her, who also had really good albums that people love, but never won Grammys. And there's also the possibility that TDE is even buying fake streams for Doechii. I mean, Doechii's album, Alligator Bites and Never Heals, allegedly got 1 billion streams in a year. And again, this is an album that came out August 30th, 2024. So really September. It didn't really stream most of August. It came out in the last 2 days of August. So really September. But the album Alligator Bites Never Heals, it really didn't pick up traction until Doechii's Grammy win, which was just 3 months ago. It was February 2025. So really, what we're expected to believe as an educated audience is that Doechii has streamed over 1 billion streams in a matter of 3 months, 3.5 months. I mean, no logical person is believing that Doechii just streamed upwards to 1 billion in a matter of months. This is an album in Alligator Bites Never Heal that sold 11,000 its first week, and now it's allegedly eligible for gold with over 500,000 records sold in a matter of months. Like, we're expected to believe this. And I'm not saying this is bad. I actually reviewed Doechii's album, Alligator Bites Never Heal. It's a good album. All I'm saying is it's just obvious to everyone that TDE is investing massively into Doechii, which they should be doing. And I think one of the ways they're investing massively into Doechii is by buying these industry awards or doing the politics needed for her to win these awards, possibly botting streams, doing all this to create this buzz around Doechii. But why, right? This isn't a video about Doechii. Why? So why am I saying this? Reason number one, this is all happening because TDE's number one cash cow, Kendrick Lamar, has already left. So TDE's cash flow is going to be less than what it would be if Kendrick Lamar was still on the label. Number two, TDE's current cash cow, SZA, for years has been voicing how dissatisfied she is with the label TDE. So boom, SZA allegedly only has 2 albums left on her deal with TDE. And after those 2 albums are done, she can leave, she can sign wherever else. She's practically a free agent. And SZA has already stated that after these 2 albums are done, she's done. Either she's gonna delve into something else, decrease her music output and get into another industry, or she's going to leave TDE and release music elsewhere. Either way, she's leaving TDE. TDE as a business, as a smart business, they're thinking ahead. TDE is facing an existential threat regarding their future cash flow. Kendrick is already done, so that's a major hit to their future cash flow. And SZA is going to be leaving for sure. She has been voicing her dissatisfaction with this label for years. So she's already leaving when her 2 albums are done. So what TDE is doing is they're spending money now on younger artists, ergo Doechii, to ensure they have cash flow tomorrow. And I think that's why we see what we see going on with Doechii. To a lot of people, even the Doechii fans, it looks a little inorganic, which, I mean, a lot of things in the industry are inorganic, but that's why Doechii is so in our face right now. TDE is doing what they need to do as a label to get her on, which is not a bad, I may be saying it like it's a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. So anyway, back to SZA. I mentioned that SZA allegedly has only 2 albums left on her deal with TDE. And I was looking at SZA's discography, looking at her albums, And I noticed that Lana is not even a standalone album. Lana is considered a deluxe version of the SOS album, which came out in 2022. Now to the fans, this doesn't matter. Like, Lana is still a whole album's worth of music. They got new music from SZA. So to the fans, it doesn't really matter if it's a deluxe or a reissue. But for SZA, I think this could spell trouble. And I'm going to make the disclaimer that what I'm about to say is speculation. I am not a music industry insider. So this is just what I'm seeing off my speculation. See, SZA is the only artist on TDE who's willing to speak out against TDE withholding her music. Like, for years, fans believe that TDE artists like Kendrick, for years, fans really believe that Kendrick took 5-6 years in between albums simply because he wanted to. Like, he just needs 6 years to create one album. Like, the fans never wanted to believe that TDE was purposefully withholding music from Kendrick, Isaiah Rashad, Ab-Soul, Schoolboy Q. That is, until SZA started speaking out about how her own music was being withheld by TDE. And when SZA speaks out like this, I don't think the TDE executives likes this. I don't think TDE executives appreciate SZA making their block hot in this way. I mean, these are the same TDE executives who hopped on a live stream back on Fig when Reason was an artist on TDE. He was very respectfully explaining his situation with his music, very respectfully. And one of the executives at TDE called into the live stream, like, to protect her own pride, and then like had this whole back and forth live in front of thousands of people with Reasons.
Hey, T-Real, can you name me 10 Reason songs right now? You from LA, you a LA native. Can you name me 10 Reason songs right now?
Basically trying to dunk on Reason. So like, I don't think the TDE executives, I think they have a thing where they don't like being viewed like this. So SZA making their block hot like this, I don't think they appreciated it. Not to mention SZA's fan base itself. Those SZA fans are absolutely vicious when it comes to demanding new music from TDE. See, the TDE fans who are like Kendrick fans, Schoolboy Q fans, for some reason, they don't want to believe that TDE would do something like this. Probably because they grew up with TDE's music, there's a nostalgia factor. But SZA's fan base are not TDE loyalists. Like, SZA's fan base, a lot of them aren't even fans of rap. It's a whole different fan base from a Kendrick fan, from a Schoolboy Q fan. So SZA's fans, they don't have this same passive approach to TDE that fans of Ab-Soul or Kendrick or someone else might have. So the TDE executives have to deal with this. And I don't think they like dealing with this. And I don't think they like looking bad to the public. Again, this is just speculation from me. So one way they can compromise with SZA and her fan base, so SZA and her fan base stop putting them on a spot, stop making their block hot. One way they compromise is they say, hey, SZA, you can release new music. This is what your fans, right? This is what you want, right? We can release new music, but under one condition. This new music will not count towards your album contract. You owe us 2 albums before Lana, and after you release Lana, you're still gonna owe us 2 albums. Again, I'm not a music industry expert. I could be wrong. I'm just saying based on what I see. Ask your local music industry expert if you want the actual skinny. But this is what it looks like to me. But yeah, to me, Lana is a reissue / deluxe instead of a proper solo album because TDE does not want the Lana album to count towards SZA's contract. If that album counts towards SZA's contract, she is now 1 album closer to leaving TDE, which again will affect their future cash flow. So TDE is like, okay, we're gonna let you release music to calm and quell and satisfy your fan base, but then they get the benefit of still having SZA for 2 more albums. And this is not really controversial to say, in my opinion, because we kind of saw TDE do this with Kendrick from 2017 to 2022. After Kendrick released the Damn album, he had 1 more album left on TDE. And TDE held him and delayed that last album, Mr. Morale and Big Steppers. They delayed that album for almost 6 years. Like, you got 1 more album left, the next, like, we gonna hold on to you as long as we can. But again, there's like this TDE loyalist. I don't want to insult them by calling them stans, but there's like this TDE loyalist, like they don't want you to believe, and they don't want to believe themselves that little 5-6 year wait, they want to believe that it was because that's just how long Kendrick needed to make that album. He just needs that long to create one. Well, he doesn't want to create an album. He's living life. Or COVID. This is what they want you to believe. But in reality, it just looks like TDE was trying to suck as much life out of him as they could before he inevitably left. And to me, looks like what's happening with SZA. And honestly, if SZA has 2 more albums left on her deal, I don't think she's fulfilling those 2 albums anytime soon. Like, I think SZA is going to be stuck on TDE for another 10 years. SZA's 35 years old right now. I wholeheartedly believe that she's going to be in her 40s before she gets off of TDE. TDE is going to squeeze every bit of musical life left out of SZA until she's not popular anymore and her moment has completely passed. And then, only then, will they allow her to release that last album and leave the label to do whatever else she wants to do. And even then, all that music that SZA had released before, TDE is going to own that music unless SZA wants to purchase it from them. Like, it's currently 2025. I don't think the next proper SZA album is coming out until at least 2028, maybe later. And then the album after that one, maybe 2032. Like it's gonna be the 2030s and SZA is still gonna be on TDE. Facts. Again, TDE wants SZA on their label throughout her entire prime. And they're gonna leech onto her until her moment has completely passed and she's not a hot topic in music anymore. So like SZA is effectively stuck on TDE. But I think the best case scenario for SZA is Doechii becoming a superstar. Why? Because this takes all the profit burden solely off of SZA's shoulders and then kind of distributes it to Doechii. Like, it's not all on SZA to be profitable. Like, she can kind of share that with another artist on the label. So then, like, if Doechii becomes a megastar, it gives TDE a little less reason to so desperately clutch onto SZA for their future cash flow. And I know what some of y'all might be thinking, why would a record label, not want their popular artists to release an album? When that artist releases an album, isn't the label going to make money? Yes, but it's all like the label is also going to have to spend a lot of money up front for that album, for that tour. Like, why would we do that when we could just continue to eat off what you've already done? Like, people really don't want to spend money like that. And TDE is already having to spend money on Doechii. Like, they're spending money to get Doechii in these places, allegedly to help Doechii win these awards, allegedly to, I say allegedly because this is what I think, botting these streams. Like, they're spending money to like get her going. So in 3, 4, 5 more years, she's not profitable. I don't think Doechii's profitable right now. I think she's a money sink, but they're spending money in hopes that it's gonna make them money. This is just how business works. So yeah, I think SZA is stuck on TDE and hopefully it all works out the best for her. She seems to really care about her music and her fans, but I think it's gonna be a fight all the way until the bitter end. And I think it's gonna be the 2030s before SZA releases that last album to get out of her deal. Either that or she's gonna have to retire and do things that way. So anyway, that's all I got for today. What y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.